Hey, Matt Alive here. Bet you didn't know I was going to be in another movie. Oh, hell, who am I kidding? Of course you did. I won't shut up about it. So the movie's called Fur, and it's brought to you by the great people over at Film Trash Productions. It's all about an animatronic bear who comes to life and starts killing. Ooh, gruesome. Our Indiegogo campaign is currently live through the end of February, and if you can help out, there are some great perks. They range from animal pets, signed copies of the Blu-ray, special thanks in the credits, your band's music in the film, and acting roles. You can even be killed. Ah, that sounds super fun. Check it out. Donate and share if you're able. The link to the Indiegogo campaign is down in the show description, and any help is very appreciated.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, alright, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
So what's up?
So what's going on, man? Last time I had you on was the same day that I downloaded X-rated pics of what the fuck's her name?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't download them. I just
Somebody
Google
made a
image
whole
search them.
somebody made a whole bunch of AI pics of Taylor Swift
yes.
that were not favorable towards her.
Erotic in
Right.
nature.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
fucking uploaded shitloads of them to X, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Twitter, if you will. And Ron is joking.
All I did was I copied. I looked them up because I caught on. I woke up like really early that morning, and so it was before X or Twitter got rid of all of them. Because now you can't find them anywhere. That happened like within a few hours of them dropping it. But I was online when I kept seeing all this like AI Taylor Swift shit. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And I was clicking on it. One of them, she's getting like "Fuck Doggy Style" by Oscar the Grouch, which was fucking hilarious and random. With the other one, she's like in the stands at a Chiefs game, like blowing all these fans.
But this is why your episode got lost.
But yeah, so I start
Okay.
researching this shit, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna copy these pictures and send them to Matt because these are fucking hilarious. And then all of a sudden, my computer died, and I brought it to Apple, and they couldn't fix it, and I had to get a whole new. They called it a logic board, whatever the fucking the mainframe, whatever the fuck it is inside. So
Yeah, and
everything's gone.
and
So
the
like
20
everything they warned us about in like 1998 about looking at porn on the internet, happened to you. It actually
First time
happened
ever.
to you.
First time ever. I look at porn every day. This time is I look at porn every day since 1998, and this time it happened.
That is the first time. Listen, you roll the dice till go back to that well too long, Ron.
I know.
It'll bite
I
you.
know.
It'll bite you.
Don't
Yeah.
fuck with Taylor Swift, kids. Don't fuck with Taylor Swift.
And the 2024 TJ Kiss episode was no more.
Yeah.
It was no more. But we are back again. I was going to
We are
say,
back.
if you wanted me back again fast, you did not have to go Office Space on your laptop. You could have just asked me to come back on.
I know.
And you told me it was destroyed. I was like, oh my goodness.
I'm trying not to think of all the things that I lost because I wasn't able to back it up, obviously. So I just whatever. I don't care.
It's okay.
Yeah,
gonna be all
it's
right.
okay. That's
Yeah,
your
but-
connection to Taylor Swift.
That's my connection to Taylor Swift. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That's okay.
You're
for me.
basically dating her now.
My wife may have a problem with that, and Travis Kelce may have a problem with that. And
Fuck
I
Travis
personally, I'm
Kelce.
more afraid of my wife. I'm more afraid of my wife than I am Travis Kelce.
Once that money starts rolling in, your wife will be fine with it. Trust me.
Fair.
silver lining, we get to talk again.
Yeah.
Yes, we get to talk Necromancer, which the crowdfund has been a rousing success.
Oh, yeah.
We're already past our goal of 8,500. We're at almost $9,000 raised to go towards this film, which I cannot tell you how blown away I am. I'm shocked. I was like, I figured I was gonna be sweating this thing out like to the end. Like me and my co-producer Sean were talking about like, dude, like I can come up with probably like 300 or 400 myself if we're short to make sure that we don't lose out on what we have raised. And then next thing you know, boom, 2 weeks in, we're there already. And I'm just like, I'm amazed, and I can't thank everybody enough who's been supportive. You guys, everybody who's been supportive and contributed and done everything they could to try to help me push Necromancer along over the last 2 years. And we're all like really, really pumped up to go make this and bring it to the big screen. I'm like looking at like school locations at places, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this is like I can actually rent this thing. This isn't just me fantasizing. Be like, this would be cool. Like this would be cool, and this is doable.
Nice.
Yeah, well, cool. Well, maybe we can help you, push a little bit further,
Yeah.
Listen, at this point now, any cent that we earn is essentially just going to make what everybody gets to see on screen better, and it's going to enhance the experience of my cast and crew, because it's going to enable me to do more for them that I already am planning on, which I'm trying to do as much as I can to try to make this as best I can experience for everybody, and also the best film I possibly can. So we're getting every penny bringing me closer and closer to what I see in my head, which is really what this is all about and all I could ask for. So it's been pretty great. So yeah, anybody Seed and Spark, search Necromancer, take a look at what we have. We have an amazing cast, amazing people attached. And if it's something you're interested, it's a project that's a go for sure. Now we're definitely making it. Not that we ever were not, but now we're really making it. So if you want to come on board, please do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you guys should if you can help out. Because this shit's gonna be rad.
The link is under the podcast.
Yeah. These are good people.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good people making good movies, man. Like the DIY shit, we've told you many times, Ron.
Oh yes,
DIY shit.
Yes.
Like that's
DIY.
why we do this.
I'm surprised that is not the name of the podcast, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that's not what it was.
I know. That's a good one.
But our brains hurt too. So that
they do.
Well, I mean, look, honestly, you can't, and you have an amazing theme song. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Going back now.
Thank the Jasons.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck it. We're not changing. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'll promote Necromancer on my OnlyFans. I'll use a black magic marker and write it on my penis, but I'll only be able to fit.
I'll take any.
It'll only be NE, and then
me.
the rest of the words will be going up my stomach.
That's fine. That's fine. That'll just hurt people's necks trying to read it. What is that? Oh, so I can get all 10 of those subscribers then, Ron. That would be great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a small penis joke for all you listeners at home.
Self-deprecating humor.
Self-deprecating humor. Yeah.
Nothing better. Nothing better, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So I know you have a new schedule now. Do you have a filming date set?
Yes. So right now, for sure, I have a date set next month where we're going to shoot at the Necromancer Brewery. I should say we're going to film at the Necromancer Brewery, which is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. It's amazing of Ralph to let me do it there. I had a screening there before. It's a really cool horror themed bar in Farmingdale, New York. It's like one of the coolest places. So we're gonna film a scene there, which will be a lot of fun. And then, now we're gonna I'm gonna sit down, and that's gonna be the most quote unquote fun part, is gonna be putting together the schedule and trying to work with everybody to make it all fit together. But the fact that now I can get a school set will really set everything in stone, and then I can really build around that, because that's been the biggest question mark. It's the most important, the biggest scene. People traveling from all over the country. I have somebody coming from Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Florida. Every these people are coming on their own dime just because they want to be a part of it. So I'm like, I got to make sure I make it work for them, because they've been along this whole time. So I got to make sure I can make it work for them too. So, but being able to do that will really solidify everything, and we can really get the ball rolling. I already know everything in my head, what I want to see. I have great people working with me, so we're going to be able to do this good.
Awesome.
Nice. What's that bar again that you were talking about in Farmingdale? What is
The
it?
Necromantic Brew Company.
Where is Farmingdale? That's in Long Island, right?
Yes.
How far away is Baldwin from that? You know?
I'll say what everybody says in Long Island. It's probably like 20 minutes or so. You know? But honestly, it probably 25, 30 minutes, depending on the traffic and all that kind of and that nonsense that we have over here. But the next time you're on Long Island, dude, you got to go there.
I'll be here. I'll be there this summer for sure. I'm up there every summer.
Awesome.
So. Okay, cool.
If you're there, I think it's in July. I went there last year. They have a halfway to Halloween party.
Oh no,
big costume party. So much fun. Yeah. So if you're in the area, I'll look it up. If I find out the date, I'll let you know around when it was. If you're going to be in the area, that would be really cool.
Yeah, let me know because I'll plan my summer trip to see my mother around that. So,
okay, perfect. No problem.
Yeah. Just hit me up. Let me know.
What if your mom is like, I'm not going to be in town that day? Well, mom, sucks for you, man.
Well, then she misses out. So I'll see her Christmas.
This brewery, I'm looking it up right now. Looks kind of cool, actually.
Oh, it is.
They have a great name.
It is amazing. Yeah. My wife went to brunch with her friends over by there one day, and she sent me a picture of it, and just said Necromantic Brew Company. I'm like, what? So then a week later, I'm like, we need to go there because I need to check this out because we're already well on our way to doing Necromance. So I went in, I met the owner. I told him I'm an independent filmmaker. I'm making a horror comedy called Necromance. And so we started talking about it. And I eventually, as I expanded on the script, there was a scene I really wanted to add in there. And I was trying to think of a place where it could be. And essentially it's like something of which would need to get, and I can make it work. Well, it works perfectly here with what I did. I don't want to give away too much information, so I'm going to be very, very sorry, everyone. Be very, very, very vague, but it worked so perfectly. And so I asked him before I could even finish. He was like, "Of course, you just let me know the date." So it's going to be awesome because I wrote it to do it there, and I was like, I'm going to put him in it, and some other people in it. Some cameos. I try to do a lot of that. Because again, this is what it's all about. Making this with friends and family, film family, real family, everything. So, put everybody, if they want to be in there, no problem. I'm filming a school, so I need like all sorts of people running around.
I could play a janitor really well if you need a janitor.
Actually, my cousin is going to play a janitor already.
Nice.
I've already got a janitor in a one-off scene with me. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to think of what other jobs Italian Americans have. Sorry, Italian Americans. I'm just kidding. I
think you nailed them all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just janitor and hitman.
Hitman, my boss. That's
Gambino.
I think so.
Gambino.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't say the name, man. Don't say the name.
You think there's a mafia still?
Still, probably.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's called the United States government.
Okay.
It's just I just wonder, like, it must be so hard nowadays. I guess whatever organized crime is still around is doing like digital, like online theft and all that shit. Like you can't
maybe all those spam calls that you get, maybe that's the mob now. That's the new shakedown.
Yeah, you can't do what you did in the 80s now.
If they answer that call, it's going to be an Italian on the other end giving you a hard time. Telling you to go buy some Target gift cards.
Yeah. I mean, if Vegas, as long as Vegas is still around, and Vegas is growing, mind you, because you can gamble just about anywhere now. I mean, you literally can't gamble online, at least. As long as Vegas is still doing that thing, and they've been spreading, organized crime still exists.
Yeah,
because you will never convince me that electronic slot machines are fucking work on the honor system. You will never.
No,
that shit is rigged.
Totally.
Fuck.
Matt said that like he has some very secret inside information to know for sure.
I wish I did.
Do you want to elaborate further, sir? Or
I
should we
wish I
not?
had. I just know that an electronic slot machine or any sort of gambling machine at a casino that's electronic and has a computer in it is fucking just shisty as fuck.
If you're gonna play them, play the ones next to the front door because they hit more to bring people in.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. I mean, the only time I ever,
which in itself is shisty.
the only,
Of course. Yes.
the only time I ever play slots at a casino is like if I, just got super unlucky and lost a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because anytime I go to a casino, I always like save up, X amount of dollars, and I'm like, this is gambling money, and you don't go outside of gambling money. But if you get unlucky kind of quickly or whatever, and your friends are still hanging out, what do you do? Well, you keep a little aside, and then you go sit at the dollar slots, and just keep random here and there putting $1 in and taking the
Getting free drinks.
they bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And maybe you get lucky and hit on one of the slot machines, then you can go have fun again.
See, I always just play poker because I feel like I like my odds playing against other people.
You play
than
poker in a
playing against
casino?
The house. Yes.
Oh, really? That takes balls. I did it once.
I mean, I play at the pussy tables, the 1-2 limit tables. Okay. And I go there, like you said, I take my stack, and that's my stack. And then if I win anything, it goes into a little pile on the left.
Yeah.
And that's where I start playing from.
Okay.
And then I try and keep that stack intact the whole time. Does it work? No, of course not. It never works.
Yeah.
It always is gone by the end of it, but that's the fun, right? Just to lose the money.
Yeah.
For 6 or 7 beers.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
My longtime best friend growing up, his name's Jason. We used to go to casinos together, and he was really good at poker. Really good at poker.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had like 3 people offer to buy him a seat in the World Series of poker, which is it's a $10,000 seat. Obviously there would be an investment there, right? But he declined it all because he didn't want to lose somebody $10,000.
Yeah,
somebody's money.
He wouldn't have, because he's super good at fucking poker. I mean, you got to be super to have other people to offer to buy your seat.
Yep.
Correct.
But we would go to casinos, and he would just be like, we'd get there, and he'd be like, I'll be back in like fucking 20 minutes. And he would just disappear into like the Hold'em room, and I'd go play roulette or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, 20, 30 minutes later, he'd come walking out. He'd be like, okay, I won us $7,000. Let's have fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like,
can I get his phone number? And
Yeah.
when's he going to Atlantic City next?
Yeah. Right. And that was just like that play with money for the whole night for us. Cause it's free money. Like, it wasn't either our money. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did. I played poker in a casino once, a tournament in a casino once in Lake Tahoe in Nevada. And I made it to the final table. And then there was this dude sitting next to me that was annoying as fuck. He kept he was just this really annoying dude. And I'm sure he was doing it on purpose, and it worked. But eventually I was just like, I'm all in because I can't sit next to this fucker anymore. I just need to get the fuck away from here. So, but it was cool. I kept, the tables kept getting smaller, and I got to the final table, which was fun. But normally I stick with roulettes.
Dude,
roulette's my shit.
Roulette is also my shit.
Yeah.
There's a strategy to roulette.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
What's the strategy?
So it's been a long time since I've done this.
Where you put it?
I can only kind of explain this. Because it's
Is
not
this gonna get you in trouble with the mafia?
It's ball counting.
No, if I knew the fucking guy who was running the roulette table's name, it might get him in trouble.
All right.
Because I don't think what do they call those? There's a name for the people that run the tables, and I can't think of
Dealers.
I guess, yeah, dealers.
Yeah.
But so it's like, and this isn't going to be a foolproof strategy again because I don't remember it exactly on point, but You know how you can put like you can put chips on like the first third or the second third or yeah. So it's like you put like I remember you put one chip on either the first, it's like the first third or the second half, and then two chips on the other one, and it basically makes it so you're basically spending a chip to go each time, but
Mm.
if you hit on these, then you'll make more than the one chip that you lose every time. But it's like an 83% chance to win at roulette every single time,
Interesting.
which is pretty great odds. It's, 17% chance to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the night I was there with my buddy, the dealer guy at the roulette table, because the place was slow as fuck. It's like 2 a.m. and we're the only two people, at the roulette
Is this
table. He's
Vegas
like,
or Atlantic City?
no, this is in fucking Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, Charleston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's like, hey, would you guys be into doing something? And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, I have this strategy that I've thought about watching this. He's like, I just want to see if it fucking works. Would you guys be into doing this? And we were like, why not? He started telling us about it. And my buddy was even like, ooh, I've heard somebody talk about this strategy before. So we did it. And I started out with, I think it was like, it's like $125 you have to start out with. I want to say it's 3 chips on one place, 2 on the other, not 2 and 1. But I won like $400 in like 20 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Really?
I turned my $125 into like $525 in like 20 minutes. It was great. I was like, wow, this is fucking rad.
we needed to have a deeper conversation about this off air, Matt. Okay. I'm going to be going to Jersey, not Atlantic City, but Jersey, in like a month. Maybe I make a little trip down south and follow your system. And then if I'm wrong, I'm coming further to get my losses back from you.
I think, yeah, right. I mean, I think this is a system that people have used on roulette for a long time. It's just all it is looking at the board and seeing what you can bet on and playing your odds, just playing the best odds possible. Because still to this day, when I step foot in a casino, just because this is fun, I'll go fucking straight to the roulette table and I'll just put 100 on black. It'll be like 100 on black. That's the first thing I always do. You either hit or you miss.
Yeah.
If you hit, boom, $100 goes in the pocket.
Yep.
And stays there and coming home with me.
Yeah.
And then I got the same amount of money that I planned on gambling with,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
The first time I went to Vegas was we went, me and a couple friends went for New Year's of 2000. And my friends would make fun of me because I'm an early riser. I wake up by 7 o'clock every fucking morning. And my friends were the type of people that would sleep into like 12, 1 o'clock. And they would make fun of me because they would say that they would hear me leaving the room at like 6 or 7 in the morning. Like I'm trying to be like really quiet and like close the door like quietly. And I would just go play roulette. And at that time, it was like, there's nobody in the fucking casinos. I remember this one time I was sitting at a roulette table with a Elvis impersonator.
I think you told us this one time. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just me and him.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the biggest degenerate.
No, that is an amazing real Vegas moment.
Yeah,
right.
it was.
Playing roulette with the Elvis impersonator at 6 a.m. Like, this is Vegas, folks. This is not the strip. This is not the glitz and the glamour.
No,
this is gritty, hardcore Vegas right here.
Like, I feel like that needs to be a scene in a movie.
Yeah, it
should.
Like,
that's what you said. That is exactly what you said last time.
Yeah.
Slowly closing the door at 6 and not wake up all the people that have crashed all over the place to meet up with fucking fake Elvis.
I have a story written down that's not in a script yet, but I have a story written down called Atlantic City that takes place in Atlantic City. So if I do ever do that, I will steal that, and Ron, you'll probably be asked to be my Elvis impersonator.
I would love to do that. I would love it. I would love to do that.
Who's your guys' favorite Elvis?
What do you mean favorite Elvis?
Like,
what do you mean?
Like,
exactly.
Like 50s.
In what respect?
Like 50s hip swinging Elvis, 70s fat Elvis, like army Elvis.
For like musical purpose, I would say like the 50s Elvis, like the older. But for entertainment purposes, my personal entertainment purpose is late
Yeah,
Late Elvis, fat
Yeah.
Elvis.
I love 50s Elvis, but my favorite's Fat Elvis. The 70s,
Yes.
like Viva Las Vegas, Fat Elvis. Oh,
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm waking
Like,
my
really,
entire
like running out of breath on stage and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's great. And
waking
it's
my
not-
entire
it's-
camp up at 3 in the fucking morning to fly my jet to fucking Denver to get this a fucking hauled out loaf of bread with peanut butter jelly, bananas, and bacon in it. That Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The king. That is the king there. Yes. He
Do you
lived
think
like
he's still
a king.
alive?
No, I
You don't think so?
Nah, he died on the toilet.
Yeah.
Correct. That is that is like the most believable death I've ever heard
Yeah.
of. Is that
I agree.
I mean, I
Elvis died on
know
the toilet.
that's one of the conspiracy theories that I just like immediately. I'm like, no, that's not. He died.
I'm the same.
Yeah, and I love a conspiracy theory. I'm looking for
Oh, yeah.
reasons. I'm
Yeah,
looking for
yeah,
reasons
you know.
to believe.
What's your favorite conspiracy
That one's
theory?
tough.
If somebody came
If
up
you
to you,
have a
TJ, if somebody came up to you and said a very popular conspiracy theory is true, and if you can guess it, you save your life, but if you guess the wrong one, I kill you right now. Which one would you pick?
Wait a minute. This is a loaded question. There is so much going on here. Because then in reality, really, it has to be like the one that I think is most likely to be real, as opposed to the one that is my favorite, the one that I want to be real the most.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do which one do you think is real and which one is your favorite?
Okay.
Which one do you want to be real and which one do you think actually is real? Because they probably differ.
Yeah.
That is a tough question. I'm gonna go with the one that I want to be real first.
Mhm.
The one that I want to be real, and I know that it's not, is that the ice wall is like a real thing, and like on the other side of it is like a whole other advanced civilization. You know?
Oh yeah. So
That would
like,
just be so amazing. Like, because then I would feel like every bad thing that happened to me, or every poor turn, every last leg on my parlays that I've lost, I'll be like, that's fucking why. Because these goddamn people like watching me suffer. That's why, you know. So that would make life, the bad parts of life, and be like, all right, fine, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is by design. It's not just shit luck on me. It's somebody made this happen. The one that I think is true, probably that, like, you know, like 3 large companies really like run everything.
I don't even think that's a conspiracy.
Is that a conspiracy?
Theory,
No.
I think it's just fact at this point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't think anybody questions that anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but it's still
5
it's
companies
not
do
like,
run everything.
It's not like they still want it to be. They're still trying to hide it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, you know, it's
At least we know the names of some of the companies now, but
yeah, they're just trying to consolidate.
BlackRock, you didn't know that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pfizer.
fucking BlackRock.
I'm
Jesus.
done.
Wait, what's the ice wall? I never even heard of the ice wall conspiracy.
So basically, it's like flat Earth. Like it's
Okay.
part of the flat
Okay.
Earth
Gotcha.
conspiracy theory that, like, you know,
Sort of.
that's why Antarctica, you can't go there. Nobody's allowed to go there.
Oh, okay.
You know, because it's like a, you know, and then on the other side there is like either like aliens or, so that's like, they say it's the ice wall that we're not supposed to go past. I see
Think
stuff on TikTok all the time and I'm like, oh, this stuff is so cool. I wish it was real.
Think of like our whole world being in a circle.
Mhm.
Instead of Antarctica being at the bottom of the world and everything like oceans surround it, think of the ice wall that is Antarctica, because you know it's like most of the coast of Antarctica is like giant ice walls. Right?
Yeah.
Think of that though surrounding us. So
Okay.
the whole world is in, like, we're all in islands and what looks like a big lake and surrounded by ice walls, and we can't get outside of that. So it doesn't necessarily go absolutely 100% along with like the flat, like people who believe the earth is flat.
Right.
Because it could just, like, the ice could just be outside of us and be like this whole huge area where who knows what the fuck is out there, you know, and we've only been able to get so far. It's a pretty insane theory.
Wild theory, yeah.
Definitely isn't true, but yeah.
No, for sure not. Yeah.
But it would be fucking crazy. Could you imagine? That would be fucking insane.
It would be crazy. Yes, I agree.
It's a fun theory though.
Love to see it. I would love to see it. Somebody should make a movie.
Yeah, somebody should make it.
All right, what about you guys? What are your favorite conspiracies versus most likely to be true?
Hmm.
The one that I think is most likely to be true is that Hitler survived World War II and escaped to Argentina
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's a good
lived out the
one.
rest of
That's
his
a
life there.
good one.
There's like
That's a
literally
very good one.
Yeah.
there's like literally zero evidence that he killed himself
Yeah.
the way that history says he did. There's no evidence whatsoever. None.
Yeah.
Like no physical evidence. It doesn't exist. It's just a story. There's more physical evidence that he escaped to Argentina. As a matter of fact, there's pictures of motherfuckers from Argentina in the 70s that look exactly like old Hitler with no mustache.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of Nazis, a
And they are
ton of Nazis
right.
that went to
Yeah.
Argentina.
And
A ton.
there's still German villages in Argentina
There's German-speaking
day.
villages there.
Yeah, with white
Yeah.
people
Yes.
that speak German. Yeah, because that's where the
Correct.
fucking Nazis went. I mean, we know we hunted them there.
Yeah. And there's no way that if they had a
that's a really good
program for sending high level of Nazi officials to South America, that there's no way Hitler would not be on the top of that fucking
Yeah.
list.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the one that I think
Mhm.
is probably true.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
And
So Matt stole mine that I think is true, but there's one that's almost as close to Hitler making it to South America, and that's that we never landed on the moon.
yeah,
That's a really good one.
We never landed.
That's
on
a
the
really
fucking
good
moon.
one.
dude. I could
Stanley Kubrick. Stanley
I
Kubrick
could-
made it look like we did.
yeah, I could talk about that theory
Oh, yeah.
for days, man. Like
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to change my believable one
Go ahead.
to that there was an more advanced civilization further back than we believe that was wiped away in a cataclysmic event.
Oh yeah.
That one, I don't know why that escaped me thinking about that, but that one I've been all in on that one. I've been reading and watching a bunch of stuff about that kind of stuff, which is fascinating.
that's that's actually my favorite one.
Mhm.
The one
Okay,
that
there you go.
I'm not saying that that it's my favorite, but it's not true. It's just my favorite because it probably is true. But I think there's more evidence that Hitler escaped Argentina than there is of
Oh,
advanced-
yeah,
and
for
that's
sure
saying
there is.
something because there is a lot of evidence pointing to old advanced civilizations. But yeah, that's for my favorite. I will, because that is my favorite, but I'll even take a little specific point to my favorite part of that, which is something I learned in probably like the last 4 to 5 years. People have been talking about it more because of satellite imagery and shit. But there's this place in Africa called the Rikat structure or the Rishat structure. I'm not real sure how to pronounce it. They call it the Eye of Africa because
The Eye of the Sahara. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see it from
I know
space.
exactly
That was
what
the
you're
first time
talking
anybody
about.
ever saw
Yes.
it. The astronauts saw
Uh-huh.
it. And but it is this place insanely has just at this point hundreds of coincidences with the way Atlantis was explained. And how could that be true?
Yeah.
Because it's in the middle of the fucking desert, right? But using the wonderfulness of computers, people have even gone back and you can there's websites that can estimate water tables and show you where water was in certain years and stuff like that. And sure enough, around the time that Plato or his ancestor, I guess, who originally wrote the stuff about Atlantis, said that Atlantis existed, the water level even on those websites is perfectly to make the concentric circles they talked about.
Yeah.
Ron, if you've never seen anything on the Reshat structure, I'll send you a couple YouTube videos to watch.
Very interesting.
It's just
stuff.
really, really interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the first time this theory was mentioned was actually in a documentary made by a South African company. I think it was originally from 2011. But it's called Searching for Atlantis or Finding Atlantis or something like that. And that was the first time the theory was brought up. And it was really well done. These people did their research. It's a fascinating fucking theory. It's crazy though that this place, when people have used Google Earth, because you can map out miles and stuff like that and feet, the dimensions of this place are perfectly aligned with what Plato described Atlantis as, down to the miles and the feet and like mathematics. It's nuts. Like it's perfect. It's crazy thing. But that more
And
specifically,
even when you
favorite.
Yeah.
when you look at like the erosion and the sand and stuff like all around there, like in the satellite imagery, it looks like it's clear that it's like giant waves of water that were just pulling everything back there. Just
Yeah,
washed it all away.
it does look a little bit in satellite imagery like a giant flood washed over the Sahara, which
Yep.
at one point was a jungle with a bunch of lakes and lush, like lush greenery throughout the entire northern part of Africa. At some point in history, it became a desert, and it's somewhat recent history, and nobody knows why or how it happened.
Mhm.
I think the most plausible reason would be a bunch of water, just like the Great Flood myth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that every society has. Every
Yeah.
society has their own story of a great flood, like 13,000 years ago. Like everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and there's a lot of evidence mounting it, and it just it makes sense when you read it all. Like I never was into Atlantis when I was younger. I would hear stories about Atlantis, or in history class, or from friends, family, or whatever, and I always just kind of like, it doesn't really interest me that much. But then I saw that theory, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, there's some shit to this, and I
Right.
watching and kept watching and kept watching, and now I'm super obsessed with it.
Yeah. My favorite conspiracy theory is that we're living in a simulation.
Yeah,
And I can't say that I totally disagree with that.
Great one. Yeah, great one. Great one.
Yeah.
Great
we
one.
talk
Yeah.
about this often on this
Yeah.
podcast. We live in a simulation.
Yes.
If you and I, do you know, Ron? This is like some actual kind of hard evidence to this, because there's another way to look at it where you could be like, okay, well, it's not really like hard evidence, but it's definitely evidence as to an experiment that was done. As it's kind of almost like rendering. So like in video games, the world renders. Anything you don't see on the screen doesn't exist. When you turn, it renders, right?
Mhm.
There's an experiment that like physicists did a long time ago that was like a piece of paper with like two slits in it. They would send like, I'm probably gonna like neutrons or fucking atoms or something through the slits. But when it would go through the slit, if you were looking at it, it would do a thing and create these, they would project these things onto like paper or something that was backlit. If you were looking at it, it would create these things, but like if you weren't looking at it, nothing happened.
I saw something really
Or
similar.
it was opposite of that or something like. But
It was like what I saw was like it would go, if you were looking at it, it would go straight through the slit, no problem.
Yeah.
And then it would be right through but when you didn't look, it would go through the slit, but all the where it would line up wouldn't line up with the slit. Like it wouldn't match it perfectly where it was going through. It was like all over the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like it doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation to it.
It's that was a way better explanation than what I was trying to do. But yeah, it's an insane experiment, but it basically somewhat states that reality is being rendered. So if you're not looking at something, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In consciousness, but once you turn and look at it, then it exists. It
exists, right?
Yeah, it's not like super hard proof of it, but it is some proof of it, which it just goes along with our theory.
Yep.
We live in a simulation.
I like the one about the people who say that the particle accelerator created like a tear and we're merged with like another universe, and that's like the basis of like the Mandela effect, because like we're in we remember things from a different universe, but we got blended into that one, and so now like the Berenstein Bears are spelled different and stuff like that. That one is wild, but one that would be very cool if it were true.
So we've talked about this before as well on this
Okay.
podcast. Being a lifelong New Yorker, let me ask you this question because this shit blew my mind. I learned about a thing in history recently that is what got us involved apparently in World War One, way more so than the sinking of the Lusitania, which is what I've always been told my entire life. There was a thing that happened in New York called the explosion of Black Tom Island. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
I never had heard of this before either. But it's like this giant fucking explosion that was technically a terrorist attack in New York Harbor in 1916. And this is apparently the reason why nobody can go up to the fucking torch in the Statue of Liberty, because it was fucked up from this explosion back then, which is bullshit because my mom had stories from it. And I've read tons of stories that it was shut down in the 80s. But this whole Black Tom Island thing, look it up. Being a New Yorker,
Interesting. I've never heard of it. You would think
I had neither. I studied fucking history. I never heard one, and this is like an insanely fucking huge moment in American history. Like it got us involved in the First World War, and it's like,
yeah, the Lusitania is always what I was taught
same
forever. Yeah,
but apparently that's
Yeah.
not true. Like,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. Well, now I'll be up till 4 this morning. Thanks.
Look up this story. I'll send you a video that summarizes it pretty well. You just have to like fast forward to the end. It's a YouTube video, but it has bookmarks in it, and you can just go to the end to the last one, which is the long one, which is this. It sums it up real well, and then you can like read off of that. But I can't believe that this whole thing existed and I had never learned about it, because I don't know. It's just it's so confusing.
It's wild.
Yeah. It was like the Berenstain Bears. The first time I saw that thing of Berenstain, I was like, "What? No, that's not
right.
That's not right." But
Like
apparently,
the Sinbad one, I don't get when people are like the movie. What was it? Shazam with Sinbad.
My girlfriend's
Shazam with Shaq. I remember that.
Yeah,
impossible. I definitely remember that. I don't remember that existing at all. That one I never got.
I remember the Sinbad version too, but there's a lot of people who remember the Shaq version.
The Shaq version.
Yeah, I remember the Shaq version, but there's a lot of people who remember the Sinbad thing. My girlfriend's one of them. She swears to Christ she's seen that movie.
That, and I don't, and I was not one of the people who the Nelson Mandela. Like I don't remember. Everybody remembers that he died. I remember him being let out of prison when I was a kid.
When I
wasn't that like late 80s or early 90s? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was 1992, I believe.
Yeah, early.
And I think that's people are confusing that in their mind with they thought that he had died. I guess
is it
that's
the
what
first?
I think, or maybe we're all just in another universe
now. Maybe the first Mandela effect thing I ever heard was the Berenstain Bears one, but the second one I heard when I started reading about it was the Nelson Mandela thing and why it was named that way. And I remember reading about it and them saying, just figuring out what that Mandela effect was and thinking in my head like, wait, didn't he die in prison?
Yeah.
Do I remember him dying in prison? I feel like I do.
Dude, tell him about the reindeer.
I can't remember. Oh, the fucking reindeer. This is another one I found out right around just like fucking like 4 or 5 months ago when I found out about the Black Tom Island thing. The reindeer, like Santa Claus's reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
The last two reindeer are fucking Donner and Blitzen, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
What is it?
Their names. Their name. It's fucking Dunder and Blixum.
That's horseshit.
Look it up.
I'm sorry. No.
That's what I said too. I was like,
I don't want my
one.
world to be shattered.
This is a bullshit.
Then,
but it's not.
I don't buy it.
Reading and
I'm hearing it in my head.
Dunder and Blixum.
Dunder and Blitz. That doesn't make any sense anyway. That doesn't jive with the rest of the names, does it?
It doesn't. And for anybody else listening, go fucking look it up
Yep.
because that is officially their fucking names. Now, this is a weird one because
Interesting.
there is records of all sorts of shit where people are using Donner and Blitzen. But there's
Mhm.
also records of all sorts of people who are also using Dunder and Blixen. And apparently, from the very beginning, it's always been Dunder and Blixen.
Crazy.
What do you
Right?
mean? What do you mean from the very beginning? Like
That's like since the names were made
Since the
up back
Santa-
in the 1600s or whatever.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's fucking insane because like that's another one I was like, what the fuck? We live in a simulation. There's no fucking way. Those Dunder and Blixen, fuck you. Like that's
Yeah,
not.
no, for real. No, it's not.
They're just fucking with us now. It's like every time they, the theory, every time they turn on CERN is what does this shit. They're
Yeah.
creating like tiny black holes, and creating tiny black holes is like fucking with reality.
I mean, it might be true.
Yeah, right. I mean, who's to say? They've proven that at least 11 other dimensions exist. That's proven, right? The guy who was on the team that built the first quantum computer, that motherfucker in a lecture a couple years ago, trying to explain in layman's terms how quantum computers work, literally said on the stage, quantum computers reach into other dimensions and pull shit into our dimension to help us. Like that was literal words out of his mouth. I watched this thing like fucking 20 times, try to understand it all and be like, is this dude really meaning this? And he was. And so that can't be good either, right?
No, I can't be good.
There's like 20 of those machines on the planet right now.
Yeah.
So of all 20 of these machines, as to I understand it, cannot be slowed down and cannot be stopped. And they're basically AI now. And they just keep getting faster and faster and faster. And they're apparently literally reaching into other dimensions and pulling shit into our dimension to help us.
I gotta tell you, in all my life, all the research I've done on stuff being pulled out of other dimensions, which is mainly in movies and books, it never ends well for us.
Yeah.
So please stop pulling things from other dimensions.
Yeah. Stop.
Before
AI.
a kaiju comes out or something. All right.
Yeah.
Like let us live. All right.
Exactly.
We're already screwed.
Let us enjoy our little simulation. Okay. We're all running around on our little hamster wheels. Let us do that.
We're already screwed on AI. Like, have either of you guys listened to the dude? He used to work for Google, and he started having conversations with the like Chat GPT thing. The one that's Google's though. It's not called Chat GPT. It's got its own name. I just can't remember what the name is. But he it had these really crazy conversations with this thing and started asking it really interesting questions, and like some of its answers were stuff that was not supposed to be saying. It was like learning things it wasn't supposed to be able to learn. And it was talking about manipulating people and shit.
There was one that said
Yeah.
it called like the number for like a captcha, like, to prove that you're not a robot. And then when it couldn't speak, it said that it was like a mute, or it could not speak. And so it asked if it could do it for it or something like that. Basically, it manipulated the person into doing it for it. And they were like, it's not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
How did it know to do that? It's like, unplug it now.
Yeah. I mean,
unplug it.
How many of these? I don't even know if you can call them many, or if it's just one, or what. Is there like, all these AI beings? I don't even know what to fucking call them now.
It's called Skynet, man.
Yeah.
We already know.
But how many are there? And
we've seen this.
Hell yeah. That was a documentary, dude.
Yeah. If they're hooked up to the internet, they're everywhere.
Documentary made in the future. All right. That we got to see back then. James Cameron tried to give us the clues. Nobody paid attention.
Yep.
It's because he's a pompous asshole.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
He blew it. Yeah.
Yep. You can't scream "I'm the king of the world" when you win your fucking Oscar. you can't do that, James Cameron.
You can. He did it.
Unless he really is. Maybe that's part of the simulation.
But also he did make Aliens, so like you kind of get a pass.
Yeah.
That was a really long time ago now.
Yeah. God, that movie's still.
Do you guys like
good.
Avatar movies? Do you like the Avatar movies?
No, I fucking hate them. I cannot stand them.
Yeah,
I saw the first one, but I never saw the second one.
It's a
Same.
giant waste of
Yeah.
fucking money. Same. Giant waste of fucking money. First off, like it's the same plot that's been done movie after movie after movie after movie since like the beginning of fucking film. Like, you know, it's Dances and Wolves in space, and that storyline was tired when Dances of Wolves did it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like
Yes.
so like it's not
Yes.
this. Okay, the special effects are good. And they put a bunch of money into that. Cool. Could you have paid a little bit of fucking money to make a decent fucking like original plot?
No, it's like a pop song. It's
Yeah.
all auto tune.
Yes, that's exactly right. That thank you. That,
Yeah.
It's like the best
No
analogy
problem.
for that movie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan, man. I was you said it all. It just like it's so blah. Yeah, it looks great, but that lasts for 15 minutes, and then it's like, okay, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's the perfect.
Let me guess. I bet I can figure out how this ends already.
Yeah. It's the perfect example of garbage cinema in 2024. Like the perfect. Yeah, it's just boring and tried, you know.
And it's crazy because I mean, as much as we're shitting on him right now, which is not great. Sorry, Mr. Cameron. But the guy made some amazing movies, like you said, Aliens. I always forget the Abyss. The Abyss, like that movie. That's the first James Cameron movie I saw, and like I saw the movie when I was like 9 or 10 or something like that. But that movie blew my mind, and even now, like I love that movie. I'm going back and watching like I haven't seen. I don't think I've ever seen like there's a documentary about the making of that movie because it was such a nightmare for the actors.
Yeah,
but it's crazy if
Oh
you
my
go back
God.
and like read some of that stuff. Like so many people almost died. The amount of time they had to spend in like cold water, everybody got sick. I think everybody got food poisoning on that, or that might have been Titanic that happened on. Stay away from camera with water. It does not end well.
Yeah.
Well, it ends well, but the whole process blows. Yeah.
Yeah, like come on, James, man. God, you've made so many good movies. Why'd you have to go and ruin it? You know?
Because
let's get back there.
You get to that point and it's just like he's doing whatever he wants. Like he's making the movie because he wants to make it. It's what he wants to see on the screen. So I guess you can give him that respect that he's got to the level that it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. And people go and buy and see it. And he doesn't. Oh yeah, he did.
He made a ton of money. He made so much money. It really started with Titanic because that was fucking also not good. Like the plot of that fucking movie
I know. I was
ass.
Yeah.
And that Rose is a murderer.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Yeah. I remember when we saw that in the theaters, me and my two buddies, and we're surrounded by 16-year-old girls who are crying. We were also 16. Let me point that out. When we went to go see that movie. This is not like last week. And as Jack falls and dies, I remember looking at my friend and be like, "What a selfish bitch!" And the girls behind us got annoyed. I'm like, "No, it's true. It's a very, very valid point.
Yeah,
like that is a large door. It's a big door. He could have got on it. They could have rotated."
Here's my theory about that door. All right, this is at this point in the film, Rose is like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna live." There's no way.
And this guy's got nothing.
There's no way I can be seen with this dude when we get out of here.
Yeah.
I just let him slide off in the water. It'll be a love story for the ages, and I can go right back to being rich.
Yeah.
I got the diamond. I got everything.
Hell yeah.
She that was that at the, when she throws it in the fucking water, when she's all old, that was regret right there. That was guilt and regret.
You're right. Rose is the villain of Titanic. What a take. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna rewatch that movie now with that in my mind. That Rose is plotting all along. Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And Billy Zane doesn't get enough love. We can't say that enough.
Yep.
No, Billy Zane never gets enough. That guy's great. Name a bad role. Can't do it.
Poor Billy Zane. He was in Demon Knight. Demon Knight was fucking awesome. That was the best Tales from the Crypt movie.
I haven't seen that since.
Oh, dude, you got to go back and watch it.
I know, man. I know. There's a lot. I got to watch new stuff, not even just go back and watch. I'm behind on everything.
I am too. It's it's kind of a travesty, but whatever. I think I have more fun acting in movies than I do watching movies. So
And I have more fun making them than I do watching
Yeah.
them. Yes.
yeah. You gotta check out Demon Knight though. You gotta revisit it.
I will. I will.
It's a masterpiece in like a Tales from the Crypt kind of way.
All right. I mean, I do. Tales from the Crypt was a classic.
Oh yeah.
People love watching it on HBO.
One of the best
Bordello of
shows of all
Blood, too.
time.
Yeah, it was, man. It was. They don't have stuff like that anymore. You know
No.
what I just watched? I only watched the first episode of it, but it was like the new Twilight Zone that came out. I know it got canceled.
What do you think
already,
about
but
that?
I only watched the first episode so far.
Uh-huh.
But I really liked the first
Okay.
episode with the comedian. I thought it was really interesting.
What
And I
platform
started
is it
watching
on?
the second episode. I think it was on like Freevee. I think it was on Freevee.
I can get that.
But it was a good story. The first
Okay.
episode. Have you watched it, Ron?
I haven't, but I'm a huge fan of the originals. But I haven't seen any of the new ones. But I've heard that they were horrible, but I've never watched it, so I have to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I like the first one, but that's all I
Okay.
saw so far.
I heard this was happening, but I didn't know it was out already.
And it's been canceled as well, so it's already.
It's years old.
I believe it's
by
already
now.
over. Yeah.
Oh, is it
It's
out?
like
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's already canceled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but hey, look.
I mean, like they already did now Twilight Zone with like Black Mirror. So like
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Mirror is really good. I
And
like
it's
Black
good.
Mirror a lot.
so they would have had to have beaten that, which they probably weren't gonna do. No.
And then remember Tales from the Dark Side?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Tales from the Dark Side. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
like the 80s version of Twilight Zone.
Mhm.
90s, 80s. I
Yeah.
think it was 80s. Yeah.
Might have been both, actually. I think
Yeah. I think it
it
might have
80s into the 90s.
straddled. Yeah.
And I think there was another kind of Twilight Zone show. Trying to remember what it was, but I don't. It's gonna be gone. Maybe this is a Mandela effect thing, and it didn't really exist. Remembering something.
I love a good conspiracy theory. It's just so much more interesting than like,
Real life, yeah.
well, yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, number one, real life, yeah. But just like, yeah, any of the shit nowadays that's like, I don't know, on network television. I used to watch a lot of shows on network television and shit. Getting rid of cable, just way more interesting. Even though fucking like 90% of all the conspiracy theory shit I read is more than likely all bullshit. It's still more entertaining than like any of the entertainment I'm supposed to watch. Like
Yeah.
Yes, it's basically like watching the news. Only you're watching entertainment. It's not.
Right.
Well, I guess it really is the same. It's just people trying to convince you
Right.
of whatever it is that they think is true, and you being
Right.
like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, see, this is Hollywood. This is my vie right now for you to make your shit better and stop rebooting movies and redoing movies. Pay your fucking writers, man. Get original shit. And this is how you get all of us who have gone on to conspiracy theories and fucking with the government. This is how you reel us back in and make us stop fucking with the government. You give us better entertainment.
Yep.
Do your job. We don't have to entertain ourselves.
Yeah. Stop with the fucking
Yeah.
remakes. It's like
Yeah.
like they act like every idea has been done. Like
I mean, look, if you really break it down, most ideas have been done because you really want to break it down. All ideas are, a lot of them are really, really, really similar.
yeah.
But then it's just somebody's different take on it and all that kind of stuff. And then
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
build great stories around it, or you can build shit stories around it, but build your own story around it.
Yeah.
Build your story around it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why I fucking love like meeting people like you and watching shit, that people like you make, because it's so much more like it puts a smile on my face,
Yeah.
Like because I know
thank you, yeah.
I know the people behind it are doing it because they want to do this. They love fucking doing it. It hasn't just become a job. They haven't gotten comfortable. There's like passion
Yeah.
behind it.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want people to enjoy it because that's what really matters. That's what I'm making it for. Nobody's
Yeah.
giving me any money to make anything. I'm not likely to make money on anything really, but maybe I can. Great. If not, no big deal. But I'm making this to hopefully make people really enjoy it. And then with the ultimate goal being like, okay, more people being like, well, what else do you want to make? And then having more people in my film family that want to help me make stuff and want to make stuff with me. But when I break it down to it, it's, I'm just trying to make people laugh and clap when it's over. That's what it's all about.
It's fun too watching. This is the same goes for music, but the reason why I like more of the underground scene in music too. But it's fun watching and listening to people you get to meet. You like their art, listening to them progress over the years, whether it's albums or movies. Yeah, you see and hear new little tricks they've learned, get to kind of learn with them in the direction they go. Yeah, shit like that's like super fun.
Yeah, as a listener or watcher, you grow with them,
Yeah.
Like if you're a fan, that is cool.
Yeah, and again, like Ron always says too, and when it's like in the DIY areas of art, people are really like, they're there, so you get to talk to people. Accessible. Thank you, Ron. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Accessible.
Yes.
Yeah. And like you can meet people and chill with people and then, create art with people that you never thought you were ever going to get to fucking create art with people.
Yeah.
And it's
absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, me too, man. It's so much fun being able to meet people that are like on your level. Like, they're right there with you. Like they're doing the exact same thing. And it's like you do something and they're right there to support you. And then they do something, you're doing the same thing. And next thing you know, you're doing something together. And it's so cool how that works out and how you think back to when you first started and it's like there's like nobody, you know what I mean? There's maybe like one person that you're starting out with, like maybe it's you two together. And now you look at it and like, your network is so much bigger and all that kind of stuff. And there's so many more people involved in what you want to do and what you're doing with them. It's just, like I said, I say it all the time, film family, it's your family. You know what I mean? It's your second or third family, however you want to look at it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And it's always nice being fortunate enough too. Like I really have had the fortunes in my life of meeting and working with people who weren't like dicks about stuff. They just wanted to work, and have fun, and hey, let's just share everything equally, and that's I feel really fucking fortunate because there's I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, you see it all
over. I really haven't had to experience any of them. Yeah, only on a minute level,
Yeah. Yeah, and TJ, if you ever need a degenerate early morning gambling fat Elvis, just let me know.
Yeah,
you're a number one. All right, sir.
Yeah.
A number one, without a question. All right, no problem. Matt'll be the dealer. Matt'll be the dealer.
Oh yeah,
there's redneck sidekick.
There you go. Even better.
Yeah. TJ, thanks a lot for doing this again and again and again.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Anytime. This is always a great time, man.
Go back through all your shit, where people can find you, what
got it,
the shit for Necromancer and all that stuff.
So the Necromancer campaign is on Seed and Spark. Again, we already exceeded our goal. So at this point, you're really just any support is just helping to make the project as great as it can be and making it as great of an experience for everybody involved, and something that I think can help benefit all of us in what we're trying to do, which is take another step forward in this career in this industry of filmmaking or acting or, writing or whatever it is that they're doing with me on this. They all are doing this because they want to further themselves, and every penny goes to help me do that for them. So Seed and Spark, Cirque Necromancer, take a look, make a contribution. You can follow me on Instagram at KIGB Productions, and you can follow the film on Necromancer 2024, also on Instagram.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much it. And that's where you can find me.
We'll have all the links in the show description and stuff too.
I'll hit you up when I come to Long Island. If
dude, for sure. 100%. We'll hit the brew company. Yes.
Hell yeah.
No question.
Hell yeah.
No question.
Awesome. That the Necromantics Brew Company, just their last social media post was yesterday it was a picture of freaking Chucky and fucking and oh my god, Bride of Chucky. Why can't I remember her name? Fucking
that's all I can think of is the Bride of Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But for
lost my-
Valentine's Day, they had them up.
yeah,
Nice.
with a couple of the Necromantics beers, and it said something about
Uh-huh.
the anti-Valentine's Day bingo something or other. And I was like,
Yes,
okay,
yes, exactly.
I like this place.
Hell yeah.
The whole place, all they have up there is just horror themed everything. Like, you remember Sleepaway Camp? You know the movie Sleepaway Camp?
Yes.
And then the end of it, there's the spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this movie from the 70s.
Great.
At the end of the film, you find out the female character has been a male character the whole time. And she just stands there, or he stands there screaming, and the camera peels back. In the bathrooms there, the light switch is a sticker of the girl screaming, and the light switch is her dong. So as you turn it on and off,
Nice.
and I walked in there and I'm like, this is my kind of place. Yeah,
That's
this is my
awesome.
kind of place.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
And it's Tiffany. That's the bride of Chucky. Tiffany.
There
Yes.
you go, Tiffany.
Awesome. All right, TJ. Thanks again, and
All
take
right,
care,
guys.
man. We'll talk again soon.
Take care. All right, man. Have a great
All
night,
right.
guys. Take care.
Yeah, later.
Yeah, later, dude. Thanks.